From a very young age, I knew that I wanted to become a teacher. I've always loved talking and working with others, and teaching was a great way to inspire the next generation. Both in high school and in college, I had amazing teachers who really invested in me and showed me that literature was a wonderful world full of new adventures. When I graduated from Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, I was looking for a single subject teaching credential program that also incorporated a master's. My cousin told me about Azusa Pacific University's satellite campus in San Diego. Their single subject teaching credential with a master's in digital teaching and learning would allow me to incorporate both programs while living at home. At the San Diego Regional Center, I had an amazing experience. My cohort really became a family, and we supported each other as we journeyed through student teaching. I was also placed at Grossmont High School, where I had the most amazing master teacher. She really adopted me and took me under her wing to show me how to be a teacher. Eventually, my time as a student teacher at Grossmont and my participation in a digital master's program got me my job as a 10th grade high school English teacher at Grossmont. I then moved into room 1464 and began my master's journey. Throughout the program, I learned so many new things. In EDU C511, we learned how to sort our web searches via Symbaloo and how to create and maintain a live binder to store our work digitally. In EDU C512, we created a teacher website and a blog about education and technology. We even created a web quest for our students to use as part of a unit. And we also created a back-to-school brochure, which I actually used in my classroom on back-to-school night. It was so helpful to all the parents. In EDU C514, we learned about video composition and how to use videos as an educational tool within our classroom. My favorite video was making one about how to be a mounted police officer using all the necessary video components. In EDU C515, we learned about Twitter and other networking devices. I created my first Twitter account and tweeted out some educational technology. I even learned how to use Pinterest to sort my networking resources. In EDU C522, we learned how to use Prezi and other mediums to present information to students. I even learned how to create an infographic, which is a great way of displaying information visually. I also created a unit that incorporated all the different types of learners and targeted each level of the depth of knowledge chart. In EDU C526, the Capstone experience, we learned how to create our professional vita, worked on a growth assessment of how we've done so far in the course, and completed a self-study. Dieting and weight loss have always been a struggle for me, so I decided to use that within my self-study. I've noticed that as my weight is increasing, so has the increase in sugar in my diet, so I decided to take the No Sugar Challenge as part of this weight loss study. My focus question for this study was, will cutting added sugar from my diet completely within 5 weeks by slowly integrating previously prepared no sugar meals lead to weight loss? I've known for a while that I was addicted to sugar. I just couldn't get away from the sweet taste. I craved it. And the more I craved it, the more I ate it, which meant that my weight was increasing. I decided that this was unacceptable. So I did some research and found out some startling facts about sugar in the American diet. For example, did you know that the recommended daily diet of sugar for adults is 6 teaspoons? The average American eats 30 teaspoons of sugar a day. In order to reduce the amount of sugar in my diet, I decided to journal about what I was eating and how much sugar was in it each day. At the end of each week, I weighed myself and recorded how much I had lost or gained. I used 1 week as a control week in which I recorded everything I ate and the amount of sugar in it. From that point on, I recorded everything I ate and the amount of sugar in it. In week 1, I chose one day to reduce the amount of sugar I was eating. The next week, I chose 2 days. In week 3, 3 days. In week 4, 4 days. And finally, in week 5, 5 days a week, I was reducing the amount of sugar I ate. The results were startling. By the end of this 5-week study, I had lost 5 pounds and reduced my sugar intake by over 100 grams of sugar a week. At the end of this study, I concluded that my weight is not entirely determined by how much sugar I'm eating. Moving forward, I will continue to cut sugar, but will also include strategies like counting calories and working out to improve my weight loss. I chose to focus my curricular unit plan on one of my favorite units within the Honors 10th grade curriculum. It focuses on the Holocaust and the novel Night by Elie Wiesel. One of the main goals of this unit is to ensure that students really understand what it was like to live as a Jew in World War II Europe. This means exploring several aspects of society at the time. Within this unit, technology, Bloom's taxonomy, and the depth of knowledge chart are integrated into each lesson every day. One of my favorite lessons from this unit is the Warsaw Ghetto mock trial. Within this lesson, students are divided into 2 groups, the prosecution and the defense, in which they will be forming an argument to either defend or prosecute 3 members of the Warsaw Ghetto who started the uprising. Within this lesson, students work with their group members to research what happened in the uprising, who was responsible, the layout of the ghetto, and other key elements that will help shape their argument. After all research is complete, students will participate in a trial moderated by the teacher, calling witnesses, presenting evidence, and questioning who was really responsible. Students will be graded on their participation in the trial and the validity of the arguments that they present. Another important lesson within this unit is the Holocaust Society web quest. During this lesson, students will be put into groups and will use the internet to research a specific group within World War II society and to create a visual example of their learning. Students will research the lives of SS soldiers, Jewish concentration camp prisoners, Jewish resistance fighters, and non-Jewish Germans who hid Jews from the Nazis. To gather this information, students will follow links to testimonial videos from actual Holocaust survivors, explore websites with information on the events and people of the time period, watch newsreels that chronicle both the events and propaganda of both sides of the war effort, watch documentaries that chronicle the efforts of Jewish resistance fighters, and even explore 3D representations of hiding places where non-Jewish people hid Jews from the Nazis, such as the Anne Frank secret annex. Each of these activities uses technology to bring to life the experience of Jews during World War II in a special and unique way for students. At the end of this lesson, students will be graded on whether or not they completed their assigned task, how they worked as a team, and the overall presentation of their product. At the end of this unit, students will have a better understanding of what life was really like for Jews in World War II society. Over the course of this program, I have learned so much, and I can't wait to share all that information with my students for years to come.